Hey guys, welcome back to Open and Play. This is Mike, and today we're going to be looking at the Dark Avengers Spider-Man figure. This figure is part of the Build-A-Figure Executioner wave, and it's depicting the kind of spider god that was part of the Dark Avengers. The spider god is kind of a weird new character, but supposed to be like a South American legend. I think the Madam Web movie maybe tried to continue this theme by using like spider totem type things. But anyways, I don't know much about that, and I don't know much about the original comic version. But I do have the Dark Avengers story, but I've actually never read it. I read up to it, solid run up to it, but I haven't actually read it. So I got to get around to that sometime. So you can see the story for the Dark Avengers Spider-Man here. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but he is recruited by Norman Osborn to sort of replace Spider-Man on the Avengers. Spider-Man was on the Avengers post-2000. I can't remember what year it happened. Maybe 2000, 2004, 2005, something like that. But anyways, we'll get this guy out of the package. Here is our long sought after leg. I shouldn't say it's long sought after, it's just I wanted the Executioner for a long time, so glad to get him. Okay, and we'll put this guy off to the side or the background, and we'll take a look at this leg. So how about that leg? This is the Executioner's leg, which is noticeably missing boot cut. But besides that, this is a pretty good figure. The Executioner, next part that we're missing is from the Iron Man Mark 72. And because I don't have that figure anymore, because I accidentally sold it before doing the review, I'm going to just add this in real quick. These are the Build-A-Figure pieces that come with that figure. So this is the Executioner's head, very comic bookish, like very authentically comic bookish. They did a great job with this face sculpt or head sculpt. And this is his weapon, which thank the gods it is massive. And he really comes together nicely with all of these parts. But we'll talk about more about him after this. In the next review, we'll review him. So as far as this spider god guy, let's go with this Dark Avengers Spider-Man. So one of the things that you'll immediately notice is the lack of accessories. He has 6 arms, but unfortunately he only has 2 extra hands. So he's got enough hands to make 4 for wall climbing, but he doesn't have 6, and he also doesn't have 6 fists for fighting. So you are going to be missing pieces. Oh boy, we just lost our little decoration on the side. But you're not going to be able to have enough hands for him. But the good part is you could combine him with other Spider-Man type figures. And if we did that, then I think you're going to have the right number of accessories. But let's get this guy out of the package. We'll put him back here real quick, and we'll get his other accessories. The very few accessories that he comes with. Okay. This head is, this head is nice touch. I'm pretty sure in the package he came with this head on, but I'm so sorry if I misplaced it, because I did open this guy once before. I just didn't really take a very good look at him. Okay, so we have this alternate head, which is kind of like the evil looking eyes. It's not necessarily evil, but more negative looking than this for sure. And then we also have these hands. I think because of the color, it's having a hard time. So I'm going to try to zoom in one more time. So we've got these hands that are the open palm. They look pretty good. Okay. And it's not anything new for Spider-Man, but we do have a couple at least. All right. And then here's that head that I talked about before. Moving on to the figure himself. So this is an improvement from the past Spider-Man that was the 6-armed Spider-Man. I think that was in the pack with Morbius, if I remember right. Is that right? You guys might have to double check that, but this one does have more articulation, so you're going to be able to do more stuff thanks to the diaphragm cut. He doesn't have a cut here, so these arms will be limited, but honestly, the engineering of this figure is pretty difficult to do, I think, because, you know, not many humanoid type characters have 6 arms, so. But let's go into the articulation. I think you could see his logo here. He sort of has like the Venom-y type look for his logo. So he can look up that far. He can look down that far. He has almost no attitude that we can notice. Of course, side to side is okay. This is a hinge and ball peg configuration. So typical Marvel Legends. Moving on to his arms. So the top arm can go around most of the way. You have a pretty good amount of range here. Out and up about that high. He does have his bicep cut. He does have double jointed pinless elbows, which is nice. And he does have horizontally hinged wrists that will swivel. And we're going to look at all of those wrists real quick. Hinge and swivel, hinge and swivel. All of these are horizontal hinges, including the other 2 wall climbing hands. So moving on to the middle arms articulation. So the position is going to limit what you can do because it does kind of interfere with the other arm's shoulders, but you can get it in that far if you want to, which is pretty good, all things considered. You give it a twist and your range in is more limited, but you can bend at the elbow. So if he wants to try to look like a thinker, you can almost pull that off. It's not quite working, but okay. As far as its ability to go up, it's going to be about, sorry, it's hard to get this arranged, about that far up, so a little bit less than 90 for that back arm. But you do have your bicep cut like before, and you do have your double jointed pinless elbows. It should be the same arm, I think. It looks like it's the same arm. Okay. And for the last one's range, this one we can go back that far forward like that, unless you twist it and crunch it between there like we said before. Okay. And moving on to the last one. This one can go back, forward like a heck of a lot, reaching up. If you move these slightly, you may be able to get a little bit more range, but it is going to be limited by these, of course. Okay, and going across, you can go across really well with these bottom 2. So that part is nice. That's kind of an unexpected benefit. He does have the same thing, bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows. Ooh, that one's kind of stuck. It'll get you in really far. Okay. And his legs can kick up that high. So maybe about 90, maybe slightly better than 90. Back a little bit, which is pretty good. He's got the thigh cut here. He's got double jointed pinless knees. I suppose these legs would work on a different Spider-Man that is pinned if you wanted to replace them. That would be good for replacing some arms too. But it all depends on the color of the black plastic. So these guys are not really painted. It's just the painted plastic. So, sorry, painted plastic, cast plastic. He does have the boot cut, so that's good. And his ankles will go back a heck of a long ways, forward a heck of a long ways, and he does have ankle pivot. Though this one seems to be kind of on almost like ratchets, so it's hard to get a fine-tuned one. So, okay, let's get a height measurement on this guy. Try to put his arms sort of back. He is going to stand straight up about like this. A little bit further back so we can see him. And he is going to stand at just over 6 inches, about 6 1/8 of an inch, maybe slightly less. So that'll get you about 15.4 centimeters or 15.5 centimeters, somewhere thereabouts. Okay. All right, I didn't have any figures around to compare him to, but if you give me just a sec, I can compare him to a couple of Spider-Mans. It's not exactly the perfect comparison, but I do have this Spidey Maximum Series Spider-Man with a different head on, and we've got the regular black suit Spider-Man from the Secret Wars wave. So you can see the logo is going to be quite different, but the height is probably going to be very comparable. We'll straighten this guy out and get you a height comparison for these two black Spider-Men. Ooh, it's kind of hard to get this guy straightened out. Something about like that. Sorry guys. We'll move this guy off to the side and we'll put these guys side by side. Okay, their height is looking pretty similar, I would say. Yeah, pretty similar. It's not exactly, I forgot this thing is soft, so it doesn't work that way, but their height's really close, so. Okay, anyways, guys, thank you for joining me for this look at the stuff. We'll be back to you in just a moment with the Executioner Build-A-Figure. Okay, bye for now, F-Ice.